and welcome back to Broerman Farmstead. It's the 12th of July. It's a little warm today, but it's a nice breeze. About 90 out, so nothing crazy too hot, but it's definitely warm. I've been working already. If you can tell, kind of sweated through my shirt already. I've got the hopper wagons out. I've got to fix the tire yet or replace it on this wagon. I've been out and I checked the oats, and the oats are going to be ready to combine today. So we got to get the John Deere 3300 combine out, put the 213 head on it, grease it up, make sure it's ready to go. And we've got about 5.5 acres oats to run. So come along, we've got a lot to do today. My son Jerome has been wanting to get the combine out for quite some time. So before he goes down for a nap, we're gonna make sure we get it out together and hook up the head.
Daddy, open the door!
Yep, Daddy opened the door already.
Daddy.
We gotta get the combine out. This is our John Deere 3300. We bought this combine to replace our John Deere 45 that we had lost in the tornado the other year. Hey, are you high up in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you ready to get the combine out?
My dad in it. My dad in it.
Hey, are you gonna drive the combine?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's get the combine out.
Then open the door.
Open the door? You think Daddy should take the dust off the combine before we use it? Maybe clean the windows?
Get on.
Get on. And it's running. Is the combine running?
No.
Yeah, it is. All right, we gotta put it in reverse. Okay. We're gonna start backing up. Whoa. All right, forward we go. We'll put the 213 grain head on it. Whoop, we're almost there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Daddy might have a problem. I think Daddy's got to stick some more blocks underneath the front to keep it from wanting to flip forward. I got a couple blocks underneath there, and apparently that wasn't enough. I've been looking for a way to either get a header cart or make a header cart to store this thing inside and then keep the corn head on the combine. If anybody's got any bright ideas on how to turn an old running gear into a pretty decent header cart, let me know. Man, I really got to clean all this dust out of this combine. I got the side door opened up now. Get some air through here, and this dust is blowing around. I've got allergies, so I'll be wearing a mask later on today to take these oats off with how dusty they get. But yeah, this dust in this cap's gonna bug me. So I keep every tool that I need to switch heads and most of the potential minor breakdown stuff all in the toolbox. I got the 2 bolts for the head. I keep a socket wrench in here, socket. And then there's the 2 double roller chains for the head. Before I start working on any of this, putting the head on and attaching chains, I try to be safety minded. I've got the combine shot off, and we're gonna put the lock stops in for the head. So I've only got one on this combine, so I'll take this chain out, let that plate sit down on the cylinder. Hopefully, if one of the hoses burst or the seals on the cylinders let loose, the head would not come down and crush me or pin me. So up here, end of the throat, there's a hole through the front. It's threaded. All right, so we got that one tightened up. We have what's called a double roller chain. That's what connects the combine drive unit to the head. Line that up. Start putting the double roller chain together on there. Slide the collar over, lock it in place. There's one on either side for the bolts that hold the head on, and also that connector. And these hydraulic hoses up here on the third, I gotta disconnect and hook up here for the reel raise and lower, depending on what the crop conditions are like. All right, and the last chain, same kind of deal. Make sure that it's lined up pretty decent. This one's gonna be really easy, looks like. Take the chain, start lining up all the teeth on it. It'll kind of halfway hold itself together. Start sliding the collar over. Lock the collar into place. There you go. I'm wearing gloves, mainly because of this portion here. I have no problem getting my hands dirty, but if I can avoid getting hydraulic fluid on my hands, I will. That one. That one. And the last one. There we go. The reel on this model 213 head is hydraulically driven. Those two bigger lines, hydraulic motor you can see on the far side, they are to change the speed of the reel, and that small top line, that is for the reel up and down. The head up and down is controlled by the combine with those two big cylinders down underneath there. I still have to grease and oil this combine and the head, so we'll weigh a wagon empty, count the number of full dumps we put on it. This combine does have bin extension. I know everybody's gonna say, oh, just go online. You can find out from the book what this combine is supposed to hold. This combine has a bin extension on it. I don't know how much this combine actually holds. So we'll do that. We'll get an empty weight. We'll get a full weight after we count how many dumps we put in the wagon. And that'll give me a rough idea of how many bushels of oats this combine does hold. And we should roughly at the end have at least a decent estimate of our yield. Sean had a little time, he decided to come out, so I sent him away to get that hopper wagon weighed empty. Alright, I've finished greasing the combine. Gonna just run it for just a little bit, make sure we don't hear any major squeals, nothing crazy. Turn the little threshing unit on. Alright, nothing. Everything still sounds really good. Turn the head on. Head turns on and off with a switch. Push down, off. Pull up is on, so turn it on. Everything seems to be doing good. We're going to shut this back off for now because I have to go find my book and get this adjusted for oats. Okay, so I've got my manual out. The page for suggested settings for combine's various crops. Come down to oats. 750 to 1100 RPM for the cylinder speed. 1 to 2 for the cylinder to concave spacing selector. 1/4 to 1/2 for the adjustable cleaning shiv. 5/8 to 3/4 for the regular adjustable chaffer. And then down here, 850 to 1000 RPMs for the cleaning fan. This wheel here will actually increase or decrease the spacing between the cylinder and the concaves. So we want to start the combine up. We'll close that down a bunch. Alright, it's probably about time to go out there and check that. See how there we went from clean out to now we're at roughly about a 2 1/4, 2 1/2. Maybe just another turn or two and we'll have that adjusted correctly. I'm going to take this out there and open the field up once and see what it looks like. Sean just got back. The hopper wagon alone weighs 1,420 pounds. I filled the combine up with diesel fuel, cleaned the windows off. I never intended to have to combine these oats. I was hoping to actually be able to take them off and make oatlage out of them over a month ago, but we got rain at the wrong time and it just never worked out. So now we're out here taking oats off of this soon to be hay ground. Well, I don't have working AC in here, and I don't like the dust that much, so I'm going to have to get this shut up, get this turned on, and give these oats a try. We'll check afterwards after we get a little bit done to see how the settings are, see if we're letting too much grain out the back or getting too much chaff in the oats. Give it just a little more throttle. Start the threshing unit up. Turn the head on. Well, something must be going right. We do have some oats going into the hopper. Just a matter if we got enough going in there or not. Looks like I had some deer or something coming in here and laying down on just the edge of this field. As you can see, there's a fair amount of oats already in the hopper. Sample doesn't look too bad from appearance. Plenty of straw and chaff out here. I don't plan to bale this up. I'm gonna let this sit, come back, and hopefully cut this as hay here in another month or two, or last cutting, and then just pick up that straw then. I am not seeing, I'm not really seeing any grain on the ground at all. It must be halfway is okay. You know, that sample looks pretty good. I don't really see any chaff in there. There's actually an alfalfa bloom, but I don't really see any chaff or too much sticks or anything like that in there. So I'm pretty happy with that setting so far. We're gonna go out here and keep running this. And Dad just showed up. Either I'm gonna run the drone and he's gonna run the combine so I can get some drone footage, or he'll run the drone and I'll run the combine. It doesn't matter. I got the first load on the combine. Had some issues with it plugging at first, but I've got the tank full. It's about ready to flow over the front. Gonna load this first one, and then I'm gonna have to call it quits for the day. I've got other obligations today I gotta take care of. Tomorrow's supposed to be nice, so hopefully finish this up tomorrow. There's a lever right down here. I'll pull that. That'll turn the unload on. Speed it up just a little bit. Should see that starting to come down. I'll tell you what, it is very hot in here. I don't have a thermometer to tell me how hot it really is, but I'm gonna guess ridiculously hot. Air's just trickling out the last little bit. Grain tank is empty. We'll slow the combine down. Push that lever back down, shut it off. I was at the far end of the field and I heard one of the slip clutches engage. Well, disengage, I guess, whatever. You could hear it bouncing around. Got out and checked, and my belt for the straw chopper was really loose. I found this broken spring. It's Sunday, I can't go get a spring. I want to get this done. So I'm gonna end up pulling the straw chopper off. I'll probably end up baling what straw's left then. Who knows, maybe I'll recall this, I don't know. I didn't really plan to bale any of this straw. But now that I'm going to have to put it directly on the ground, I either got to bale it, get it off the ground, that way it doesn't kill the alfalfa that is there, or I'll have to get a tedder and ted it back out over the ground. We took the straw chopper off and unplugged the back of the combine. Should be good to run again now. Ever since I took the straw chopper off, the combine's been working great. I made a handful of passes since then. I haven't really had any issues. This combine, this is only my second time using it. So the fact that little things are breaking, I'm not surprised. No matter what you buy, if you buy anything used, and even sometimes new stuff, you don't know what you have until you've used it for a while. You don't know how to properly use it until you've had it for a while. You also don't know what's going to break. I'm coming through here, cutting just the oats off if I can, trying not to get down into any of the green. I got the combine set pretty tight. I've already plugged it a couple times, so I'm really trying to keep anything green out if I can. I get some hay growing up kind of tall, and especially some of these weeds that are starting to finally grow through. So I'm looking down just behind the head, looking at what I've just cut to make sure that I'm not cutting it too high, leaving oats standing on the stalk. And I'm also looking at the head, at the oats coming in, to make sure I'm not cutting too much straw off as well. putting the last dump from this combine onto the hopper wagon. That's 5 full dumps. This one might have been just a little bit fuller than the rest. Since I've got that first wagon 2 dumps on it, I'll take that away, get that weighed. That way we can get a rough estimate of how many bushels of oats we produced on this field. All right, guys. Well, that brings us to the end of this video. I've got all 5.5 acres of oats off at the farm here. I do have 4 acres left at a couple different pieces of rented ground. They're about 2 weeks behind. Hopefully during editing I can put down here how many bushels this combine ends up holding per dump, and then also the total bushels that we got off of that field of oats. But hey, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We can do a lot here, but we can't grow this channel without your help. Thank you, and have a good day.